It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Well, he finally got me unwired, and the Fox affiliate, they got enough material, so they know our opinion and what we got to say. Now, I wanted to go ahead and continue with Dr. Paul and let him go ahead and, in his own words, at the Phoenician. Now, the Phoenician is it's like, I don't know, they got 15 stars. I mean, it's one of the big resorts, nice, from back in the day. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say. Go ahead and go, Dr. Paul.
It isn't a very good situation that you're inheriting.
The audio gets better.
The other day I introduced legislation, some of you may know, dealing with the TSA.
Lots of people.
It simply says that government officials should be treated like all citizens. If you can't do what they're doing, they shouldn't be allowed to do it. So what would happen to a citizen if they were acting like a TSA agent? They go to prison. So I think it's time they stopped. I gave that speech under the House floor. I had 5 minutes. There weren't too many there. I didn't get an applause. So I'm glad you get out of Washington every once in a while because I had little applause at least for being in Washington.
In the flag!
Things are getting better. I'm very hopeful that this Congress will do much better. But I've been hopeful before. When I first went in the 70s, it was because I was annoyed with the budget and the spending. And you know what?
Yeah, he was hopeful before. So how we're going to do it. He's got a son in the Senate now. We'll see how that works out, too. So you can see that, we're doing everything we can to make sure that Dr. Paul gets the support that he was very enthusiastic, and talking to him behind the scenes. He's like, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. The people are rising up, at least, to get a voice heard. And what voice would that be? Just be left alone. That if you live in a society, and this is one thing, I'll tell you that happened when we had the police officers here last week, and they have a new supervisor, head of the community service section, the confrontation prevention squad guy, and the one that I deal with, he's always been like, the second tier. He's the guy on the street. He likes being out there with the people, working with them for over 15 years, and he's like, nope. I'm not in charge. Somebody else gets to do that. Well, you have various different supervisors that come in, and sometimes they change. They get, some of the authority guys who will come in, and they want to tell you what for. Well, we had one of those gentlemen, and he was being a little bit assertive. He wanted to make sure, who was in charge and who had the guns. And I'm going, God, there might be some other people with guns there too. I mean, how do you want to play this? Can't we just be left alone? Let's just go ahead and take it down a notch and just let it go. And they are of the opinion we're safer by allowing a government agent to do whatever the heck they want to us and our children and our daughters and our mothers and our wives and our girlfriends and our grandmas. That's at what point as a man. And we have videos already just in the last weekend of, children being stripped, and sometimes parents will just take their shirts off to their kids just to make a point. Here, fine, whatever. And I remember that I had the idea that this is where we were going. It was during the Levolution when I was traveling around the country a lot. I was going out of Sky Harbor International early one morning. And there was a young couple. They couldn't have been 25. They were 23, 4, 5. And they had two small children, a little boy and a little girl that were 2, 3, 4, around in there. They were walking. They were, could understand. They could speak, so they were young. And they were making a game out of it. In fact, the TSA encourages you to make a game out of it. Now, take your shoes off for the nice young, TSA guy. Let's go ahead and, have let the man grope you a little bit here, and we're going to wand you, and we're going to put, pay no attention to, this is not humiliating. You shouldn't be afraid. You just, we're conditioning an entire generation to just take it. How is that different than livestock? We're viewed as livestock. We're treated as livestock. We're sheared, slaughtered, butchered as livestock. In fact, from the House floor, Dr. Paul made that point. He goes, look, man, they, take care of us, feed us, make us secure, protect us, and then they'll eat you. And Stephen Molyneux from Toronto is going to be a speaker at the Freedom Summit, freedomsummit.com. He makes a really good point. He goes, look, man, when you look at a world map and you see all the different colors, for all the countries and so on, you're just looking at farms. And the people are livestock. I advocate not being livestock. And I encourage you to advocate, or at least support the right to complain about it. And to advocate for a foreign policy that doesn't have us concerned about such things. Why is all this happening? Who's the threat? I got the TSA are the ones that's groping me. They're the threat. And if I perceive that there's a threat, maybe I want to go fly on the airline that does it. You got to go in nude and put on the airline's jumpsuit and your cattle inside their tin can with guys with HP, machine guns at the front of the plane, making sure also, if you're that worried, you should have the freedom to do that. You should have the freedom to choose a provider of your air travel that's going to give you the protection and the level that you need. But am I allowed to opt out, to go down? To take the pressure out, to go to a spoke airport to where I don't have to do. I drive my car up to the tarmac. I just get on the airplane going up the stairs. They issue me my 9mm because I forgot mine, and I pay, with a credit card when I'm in the air. And a lot of people don't remember that's exactly what used to happen. I remember in the early 80s when you're taking a shuttle from New York City to Boston or New York to Washington, D.C., you got on, you went through the metal detectors, you just got on, and you used to be able to walk your family members and meet them at the gate. No more. No, them days, young people, they don't even know they used to be able to walk and sit there with them before they got on their plane, and then they checked them as they went down, through the walkway. I remember that you would get on the shuttle, and you would pay for your flight with a credit card and a little swiper. It wasn't even electronic. This is back in the day. They just took a hard copy of your credit card, and you paid for your flight in air. Air travel used to be much more convenient. We've given that up. It's very sad. And I know it's going to get a lot worse. And they're going to do they, them, those. Who are they, Ernie? Who are they? Let me tell you who they are. There are those that just want to be left alone, and there are those that just won't leave you alone. That's who they, them, those are. There are those that won't leave me alone. And you want to know how you get to this Nazi Germany kind of regime? This is it. This is how it happens. This is what happens. You allow this compartmentalization of these kinds of activities. Hey, man, I just took their ticket and made sure they were there. Hey, man, I just, operated the naked scanning machine. Hey, man, I was just the one that, patted them down. Hey, man, I was just the one that, put them in the Guantanamo bus. Hey, man, I'm just the one that took them down to the processing staff. Hey, man, I'm just the one that, kept them in the cell. I didn't do it. Hey, man, I'm just the one that, put them on the train. Hey, man, I'm just the one that got them off the train. Hey, man, I'm just the one that, accumulated their clothing and, got them all naked and everything before they went in and take the shower. Hey, man, just doing my job. Just following orders. And we get this a lot from the interviews off air as we were doing during the break. Of course, that they don't know what else to say. They're going to ask these kinds of questions, the media. We need to be able to answer them. This is how you get to these kind of problems, is you compartmentalize the tyrannical abuse of individuals and their rights. When does it stop? Is there a stopping point? Have we reached the stopping point? Is this it? Should we be allowed to complain when we perceive it might be? And they go, well, the majority of people, so what? I'm the vocal minority. If we aren't allowing the minority to complain, well then, the majority's already tyrannicized. They probably have their own concerns. Well, let them have their concern. Let them get on, their We Grope Ya airlines. You want to see France, pull down your underpants. That's fine. Let them. But let me go unmolested, exercising my pursuit of happiness. Let me tell you what. My pursuit of happiness may not be a groping from the man. Or maybe it is, Yeah, maybe I want extra groping. That's the Saturday Night Live did a spiel on that. It was really good. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. Look for the Saturday Night Live skit up there right now. But they did feeling lonely, need some contact? Well, they got it all covered for you. We just want the freedom. And we'll fight for it peacefully. And declare it here on Declare Your Independence of me, Ernest Hancock, and on freedomsphoenix.com. See you at the Freedom Summit. Have a good day.